Hoki mai anō, welcome back. The brother of murdered Christchurch man Michael McGrath is calling on the government to introduce a law to incentivise killers to disclose the whereabouts of their victims.
The law, dubbed No Body, No Parole, has been implemented with some success throughout Australia. Molly Swift reports.
For nearly 7 years, Michael McGrath's family have been waiting to say their final goodbyes.
Well, it's a very distressing and traumatic experience. It's something that really never leaves your mind.
The Christchurch builder was murdered by his childhood friend in 2017. His body has never been found.
It'll give us some final closure and allow us to move on.
David Bembo was sentenced to life imprisonment last week in Christchurch's High Court, but refuses to disclose the location of McGrath's body.
We've heard today that the person sentenced still doesn't accept responsibility or remorse, so I think that's unrealistic that we'll get an answer from that avenue at this time.
After 17 years behind bars, he'll be eligible for parole. Michael's brother Simon wants to change that. He's calling for New Zealand to follow suit with Australia by implementing the No Body, No Parole law.
Given the magnitude of such crimes, concealment of a body is enough to warrant such a law being introduced.
The law could motivate a perpetrator to disclose the location of their victim.
At the very least, a family would know that a killer is not going to get out of prison unless they cooperate.
The idea has been floated before. Former National MP Tim McIndoe lodged a private member's bill back in 2020, but it wasn't picked from the ballot.
It was particularly my contact with the McGrath family that encouraged me to think about drafting this bill 4 years ago.
It has been successful in Australia, with police believing it drove the Sydney double murder accused cop to give up where he hid the bodies of his alleged victims. Before the election, now Justice Minister Paul Goldsmith said he'd look into the idea if National formed a government, but there are still no plans to introduce the law.
You must stand down.
The minister declined an interview, telling Newshub he couldn't comment so close to the conclusion of the Bembo trial. Molly Swift, Newshub.